And it's interesting because when you look at his statement on it, he says several left-wing activist groups have filed accusations against me with the Office of Congressional Ethics. The charges are entirely false and politically motivated. No, you were forced to resign from this investigation because you acted unethically and you acted inappropriately. That's it.
Also, Democrats were protesting it, so it must really be true. Yeah. Because why did they respond to Democrats? Yeah. Because he's guilty. So he can go back to being a mole for the White House. He still has a job.
He also did, this is the flip-flopping though, right after he shared the information he had with the White House before the committee, he did come out and say, oh, I regret doing that. But then he doubled down about recusing himself from his role, and now he's stepping down. So it's like a little bit of a...
Well, you know, go ahead, baby.
I mean, Sessions also stepped out of the Russian probe. How many other people in this administration and Flynn, how many people have to step down before we realize, wow, there must be something to this Russian investigation?
It's like, to me, they stepped down, but it's like the invasion of the body snatchers. They go away and then they bring in some other incompetent
Not every time General McMaster is really good.
I like
he was replaced.
I actually find the Bannon stuff really, really interesting.
Why?
Because, well, I know a certain someone who was using President Bannon for a while, Whoopi, and there are reports that Donald Trump, now I don't know if this is true, that Donald Trump didn't like that Steve Bannon was getting a lot of the credit for being behind the scenes, but actually running the organization. And we all know that he doesn't like his ego.
You did it, Whoopi.
So maybe it had something to do with that. But I think it's interesting also.
What else can we do? Let's plot something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting because a lot of the reports also say that Bannon and Jared Kushner are at odds, and that Kushner is actually looking to get more of a bipartisan approach, less of this populism, and he's worried that Bannon's desire to kind of overthrow everything and be this populist that opposes Democrats and opposes the establishment. He's not a populist,
he's a nihilist.
They call it populism.
Well, they can call it what they want.
So it's interesting to see the internal workings shaking over there at such a close level, because we all know that Jared Kushner has the ear of President Trump very closely. So now, if he has to choose between the two, where will he go? It looks like right now he's choosing Ivanka.
Well,
that's right. That's right.
But about this,
that's right.
I think what's interesting to me, Sarah, you mentioned that McMaster is considered, you know, someone that is appropriately on this council. Oops.
I'm sorry. What did I do? You said Senate. Oh, my bad. It's the House Intelligence Committee. I thought I said the House Intelligence.
The Senate has two other people doing it.
It's the House Intelligence Committee.
Right, but I think what I read was... Never mind, doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
that's massive.
Yeah, Nunes is on the House Intelligence Committee. But the White House National Security Council is the forum used by the president for consideration of national security and foreign policy matters with senior national security advisors and cabinet officials. Right. Now that Bannon is removed, those that were taken off of it are now back. So now you have the Director of National Intelligence, who should be on there, right? Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is now back on the committee. The Marine Corps General is now back on the committee, but the Energy Secretary, Rick Perry, is now back on the committee.
Well, they believe
he won't last either.
They believe that energy is a threat to national security in regards to Iran, and so they keep bringing that up.
But is he qualified to be back on the committee?
Well, he's actually the guy that wasn't interested in that particular job.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So it'll all continue to shake down.
Tillerson, too. I was reading that his wife told him to take that job.
Yes.
That, you know, that he didn't really want the job, so don't take it. Don't listen to your wife. These guys are unbelievable.
I think it's also significant to not underestimate the power of public pressure, though, because everyone left, right, and center was calling this Nunes thing horrific. I mean, we all differ politically on this panel, but all agreed that he should recuse himself given how he operated.
Paul Ryan.
Well, I'm saying on this panel and across the country, I think there's a lot of public pressure. So don't underestimate your power when you see something, when you call your representatives, when you complain. It does have an impact.
We'll be back.